morning, second year. So we're going to go through some more examples of simultaneous equations, and after this I'm going to ask you to do quite a bit of practice with them. So there's going to be a lot of work for you guys to do. I'm going to do a few more examples and there'll be less work tomorrow then to make up for it. Excuse me. If you run out of time, it's perfectly fine to stop after you've put in maybe about half an hour of work into this, because I am aware that you have a lot of other work on your plate as well. I'm going to start by writing down some steps to help us with the process of solving simultaneous equations. So steps to solve simultaneous equations. And yesterday, you'll remember, I said that the first thing that we want to do is to remove one of the variables. So simultaneous equations will have two variables, usually x and y. Excuse me. So the first thing we want to do is to add those equations together in such a way that I get a new equation that only has x or only has y. And how we do that is the very first step is you've got to look at your equations and decide which variable to cancel. So decide which variable or letter you want to cancel. Whichever one you pick, you'll get the same answer, but sometimes the work along the way gets a little bit easier depending on which one you've chosen. And we'll be going through that when I look at different examples. Then the next thing you have to do is you need to multiply one or both of the equations so that you have the same number, same coefficient, and different signs. So you need to multiply one or both equations to get the same number, same coefficient, but different signs. Okay, because if I have 3x and minus 3x, they cancel. If I have 3x and a plus 3x, they don't cancel. I get 6x, but different signs. And then you add the multiplied equations together. So you line them up, you add the x's to the x's, the y's to the y's, the constants to the constants. Don't worry, I'll be going through this with an example in a second. So you add the multiplied equations, and if you've done it right, one of the variables will cancel. The one that you chose will cancel. If it doesn't cancel, you've made a mistake in step 2. So it will cancel. And then you get a new equation and you solve your new equation. And that will give you an answer for one of the variables. And then you sub that back in, to either one of them, whichever one is easier, to either of the original equations to find your other value. Now, and that's what you need to do. So can we see all of those on the screen at once? Let me just pull this up. Go up a little bit further.